I'm Ayla.
I'm Mickey.
And I'm Aaron, aka Be Lucky.
You're watching
MD90.
That's right. And we the unapologetic.
Nomadic.
As you may be aware, the former head of state, Edgar Lungu, has been in court for the most part of this year, 2024, him and his family. But one of the court cases that has been dominant is the eligibility case, which has gone back into the Constitutional Court. So these are some of the images that were coming from court. The court just ended a couple of minutes ago. And then say 6th Republican President, His Excellency Dr. Edgar Lungu, leaves Supreme Court grounds after the Constitutional Court adjourned and reserved ruling on his eligibility case. So those are some of the images from that. But these are some of the extracts of what happened actually in court, as reported by the people that were present in court and who were following matters at hand. So the petition brought before the Constitutional Court challenging the eligibility of Edgar Lungu to contest elections is extremely incompetent Bonaventure Mutare State Council. So those are some of the arguments that were being presented by the lawyers in court. So this court has no jurisdiction to entertain the petition challenging the nomination of Edgar Lungu in 2021, as it lacks competence. The court made the conclusion that Edgar Lungu qualifies to contest elections not once but 3 times before. Therefore, your own ruling should hold. That's Makebi Zulu. That's the argument coming from Edgar Lungu's lawyers, saying they had made this ruling not only just once but 3 times. So arguing to say them going back on their ruling that they've made 3 times will not sit well. What is more arguments from there? So Edgar Lungu cannot be harassed to keep coming to this court to answer the same question that you yourselves have determined and concluded for 3 times, Makebi Zulu. So that's still the same argument. The state advocate submit the court that the court should dismiss the petition of Edgar Lungu's eligibility brought by Michelo Chizombe, the state being the third responded in the matter. So of what happened in court. There is no provision in our Republican Constitution that provides for the challenge of a losing candidate in an election, Bonaventure Mutare. So it's saying there is no provision in our Constitution that allows for what's happening right now. So these are some of the arguments that were being presented as the court proceedings were happening in real time. So we have not blocked any lawyers from accessing constitutional premises, Zambia Police. So this was reported by the UPND, saying there was an argument that Emmanuel Mamba put up to say he was being blocked from entering the court premises. And then the UPND just responded to say no lawyers were blocked in that regard, according to the Zambia Police. The Patriotic Front say no need to backtrack, Makebi Zulu. So simply re-echoing the argument that was put up by Makebi Zulu, Edgar Lungu's lawyer. The UPND say lawyer John Sangwa has abandoned the Edgar Lungu eligibility case after he was told to make written, not oral submissions. So that's what happened to John Sangwa in court earlier on today. It's been a very colorful court session. They say out of nothing comes nothing, and nothing has come out of this matter. John Zimba, this is still one of Jonas Zimba. This is still Edgar Lungu's lawyer. Concord made the conclusion that Edgar Lungu qualifies to contest the elections not once, not twice, but 3 times before. Therefore, your own ruling should uphold. So simply pretty much different platforms reporting the same elements of what happened in court. We have decided this is what happened to John Sangwa. We have decided we have your submissions. No need to hear you, Judge Shilimi tells John Chagwa, and then Chagwa leaves court. So this is what happened. Chagwa had made a submission and he wanted to address the court because he had applied to be a friend of the court, which he was allowed to do. And then based off that, he wanted to address the open court, and which he wasn't allowed to do. And then he decided to walk out of court. He didn't see the need to sit if he cannot be heard, and that's what happened. And the UPND say, Smart Eagle say, chip mingalato, meaning chip games there. This is Smart Eagles reporting. The UPND once said, John Chagwa, Sangwa Balete. This is an analogy that most Zambians use in football to say if you are caught napping. So simply saying Sangwa Balete, based on what happened to him in court there. He was compelled to or forced to walk out because he was not being heard. So he asked to leave court, which he did. And then this is what Manuel Mwamba put up to say, Chagwa walks away. Justin John Chagwa leaves the Constitutional Court hearing in Edgar Lungu, the LGBT case vice president of the Constitutional Court. Arnold Mwetwa Shilimi has refused John Chagwa, state counsel, who joined the LGBT case in Edgar Lungu's as a friend of the court to address the open court. So that's what he was denied to do, John Chagwa, which compelled him to walk out of court. So Arnold Mwetwa Shilimi is one of the 3 Constitutional Court judges that former President Edgar Lungu petitioned from the case for his proximity to President Hakainde Hichilema. So that's one of the court judges that had refused to say they're still staying on the court and they will not recuse themselves. If you remember the argument that was being put across, should have been a week ago. This court case has been, I think pretty much every week has been dominated by this court case. So those are some of the highlights. And State Counsel John Chagwa has since excused himself from the court sitting at the Supreme Court complex in Lusaka that is heavily guarded by armed police officers. So he reported in an interview, Chagwa stated, I am surprised by the decision of the court. When I filed my application to join as a friend of the court, I was only given 24 hours to make my submission. To make my submission, only made skeleton arguments with the promise that I would make my competent arguments during the hearing. Now the Constitutional Court has ruled that they will not rely on my submissions. They've ruled that they will rely on my submissions. They refused me to give support to give support to my submissions, in which is called Viva Voce evidence. So pretty much when John Chagwa made his skeletal submission, he wanted to do an in-depth submission today, which was Viva Voce, pretty much explaining what he had submitted. But the Constitutional Court judges, the ones that are presiding over this eligibility case, simply said they'll work with what he had submitted. So he decided to walk out of court to say that's an update coming from State Counsel. I'm pretty sure he's going to do a press brief with regard to that, either an interview or something. Matter has been adjourned to 10th December 2024 for judgment. So that's when this court case is going to be determined. And then right after court, Edgar Lungu's said to see Nakachinda at Lusaka Central Police Station. If you remember, he tried to see Nakachinda, should have been over the weekend, which was denied, and seems to have decided right after court to go straight to Central Police to go and see. So Zambia's 6th Republican president has started off to see Patriotic Front Secretary General Rafael Nakachinda, who has been incarcerated since Wednesday last week. He also wants to pass through the party secretariat, which has been besieged by police. So there was, right after this court hearing, there were different stories that are circulating. So the police had surrounded the Patriotic Front secretariat. So Edgar Lungu has decided to see both places right after court. This is just like 45 minutes ago. So I'm pretty sure I'll give you an update of how that transpires. So these are the alleged images coming from the Patriotic Front Secretariat. You can see vans of alleged police officers surrounding the premises. As reported by Emmanuel Mwamba, he says heavily armed police officers see off Patriotic Front Secretariat located off Lumumba Road and Panganani Road. So those are the images coming from that. I'm pretty sure details will come. What is, even if people are dissatisfied with UPND, there is no alternative for 2026. That's Vernon Mwanga. So Vernon Mwanga has issued a statement to say, even if people do not like what's going on with the UPND right now, there's no alternative. That's a view coming from a seasoned politician, Vernon Mwanga. And if you remember, Edgar Lungu even put up an argument to say, how come Vernon is allowed to get back in or make public statements which are very political and is not. And then someone simply says, Vernon Mwanga was simply a cabinet minister or an official who is not constitutionally required not to be in active politics. As opposed to Edgar Lungu, for him, it's constitutionally stated to say once he leaves office, he's not supposed to be in active politics. That's the argument. This was reported in the News Diggers. So that's a view coming from VJ. What is still in, mass newspaper saying we have a plan B for Lungu. We have been stopped from implementing plan A by our leader, Hakainde Hichilema, says Mules Musela. So simply arguments of plan B with regard to what happens to Edgar Lungu there. What is Esther Lungu laments God is seeing how we are treating each other. So I'm sure she's referring to the property that has been seized from her. And then these are newspaper headlines that has been taken from over the weekend. It's been a hype of activity. Take frequent breaks. VJ advises Hakainde Hichilema. So that's another headline there. What else? Catholic bishops call for unity and peace. This is the Daily Nation. What is Bishop Banda is back from his break. He has been out of the country for almost a month, pretty much a month. So he's back in the country. Even when that seizure of the vehicle that was from ZRA was happening, he was still out of the country. This is when he's just returning. I'm pretty sure a statement might come from that. That's the news, ladies and gentlemen. If anything else comes up, I'll keep you posted. You already know. Turn on that bell notification so you don't miss anything.